Last 5 days have been a nice, stable environment or stillness environment. But yesterday it dipped, so now it is coming back, but not as it was earlier. So that stillness is something what I had not experienced before. So much stillness. But anyway, that apart, today I wanted to take up on what is self. We started with Dite Dite Mattam and all that in Bahia day before yesterday or on Friday. So now it is going to continue on that. So before we continue, I wanted to ask a question that as per you, okay, what is self? When I say myself, what does that mean?
Sir, as per the Buddha Dhamma or it's a general public,
No, no,
general
we are talking from Dhamma only, right? What do you know by self? Yes, Bobby.
I think I feel it is the awareness is or the vijnana is mostly identified as ourself, unless at this moment that's what I feel. Other things I can see it is changing. Yeah, vijnana also it is going and landing in different objects. So that is I feel that when I say I there is the awareness or the vijnana maybe.
Okay, maybe you are not. Okay, yes.
Panda and Sadayat and everything, Namarupa is self.
Okay.
And
So,
Sadayat.
okay, now fine. So, second question is how many minds are there?
Mind. Mind means Vijnana or
Whatever. So, first let us understand. So, how many minds? One mind, many minds, thousands of minds, millions of minds. What do you mean by minds?
It's changing all the time, Vilashi. It is millions in a second, or like six consciousness, they say, and also this is changing all the time. So it is millions in a second.
when it is when and it shifts to multiple locations.
Okay. Now, the next question is there a difference between mind and consciousness? Are they the same? Are they different? Like, mind is one thing and consciousness is another thing, or mind or consciousness are the same thing, or sometimes it is mind and sometimes it is consciousness. What do you think?
It's one thing.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, in that case, how many minds are there?
Only one, which shifts from one location to another. That's what we said. Earlier question before this, consciousness, there was a question.
Yeah, that's correct. So, fine. So, there's only one consciousness, you mean to say?
As per me, maybe other people may something wants to share.
Yeah, if Buddha was there, he would have shouted at you like what he did with Sati. That fellow said was one consciousness which moves from one to another. Anyway, that is not that is the starting point of the question. Yes, Bobby.
No, Vilashi, I think you told, and as per the suttas, this mind which is called there is something called pure mind, and it is mixed with so many things from chitta to the vijnana kanda. So it is actually, it is all changing, but for understanding, it is when it is pure, it is chitta, and when it is so much of things are there, it is vijnana kanda. So in between there is so many things, and even this thing is changing all the time through different sense organs. Yeah, it is very difficult to explain this, but that's what I think we identify as mind and I and everything.
Okay. So, yeah, that's fine, Bobby. Thanks for that. So there are six consciousness, means there are six minds. Okay. But actually, there are five minds and a integrator, which integrates experience. That's mind. So if you were to be asked how many minds are there, it's one. But how many consciousness are there? Six. That means how many awarenesses are there? Six. But can there be a place which can consolidate everything? Is one. That's a mind sense door. So it can conceptualize, it can idealize, it can integrate, it can add up, it can create, it can do whatever it wants to do. Okay. Depending upon what is arriving in the other sense doors. Now, the sense door has mind to its medium. Okay. So it does what it should do to collect, assimilate. If it likes it, based upon the experience it had earlier, it wants it. If it did not have any experience earlier, it will keep it in abeyance, which is neutral. If it has experienced and it was a bad experience, it would like to throw. Yeah. So this integrator does everything. So when Buddha talks about chakuncha paticca rupecha upajjati chakku vinyana, it is the mind which comes there. Which mind? This integrator with that consciousness comes there. Because if I sees something, all the others are in waiting for the food. So if I'm seeing something, meaning the eyes are seeing something, there's a competition between the eyes and the ears and the nose and the tongue and the body to get a conscious experience of whatever is there. Okay. So it's not complex, but we need to really see. So when I say stilling, it means cutting off the consciousness from the sense source. So, on the last 5 days, and that's what is happening. Like yesterday, Mrityunjay and Veena were there. So, while explaining to Veena, I have to literally shut down the sense door, meaning I have to do something to shut down sense door. Otherwise, her reaction is going to bring in something in the mind. Which mind? The ears. The mind means what? Can you tell me what is mind before we go even more further? What do you know by mind? When we say mind, what it means? Not from whatever we have learned, but from Buddha Dhamma. Yes, Arif.
I guess the one who feels, perceives, and intends. All that.
Yeah, it's feeler and perceiver. You're right. So when we say chitta sankharo is Vedana and Sanya. Okay. So there is a feeling and there is a perception of what is felt. That's all mind is. And then there is an intention to do something about that feeling and perception. And that is sankhara. So when we say mind, or when anybody says mind, it is Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara. It is called as Nama. The mind senses with Rupa. That means whatever Rupa is coming, the Chakku has the visible form, which is Rupa Rupa. And then the sound has a form, which is Saddha Rupa. The tongue has a form, Rasa Rupa. The nose has a form, Gandha Rupa. The body has a form, Pottabha Rupa. And Mano has a form called Dhamma Rupa. Even if the five were not to be found, the Mano Dwara, that is the door of the mind, can reproduce at will whatever it wants, which is nothing but dreams. So, from the experiences that had, it can create some experiences, which might be agreeable experiences, disagreeable experiences, whatever, but it creates experience. And that vijnana, that means it comes on consciousness. So every one of these six sense doors, with its sense object, it is waiting for the experience which can happen only in consciousness. And when it comes on consciousness, it creates a sense of I. Okay. So when I say I am watching, it means that sense door has taken the predominance and making the other sense doors not so predominant. That means the sense of seeing is has taken the resource and others are waiting. Like we were talking on Friday about a multi-threaded. So it seems as though the eyes have taken over, which it has taken over, but the nose and the tongue and the body, etc., have little consciousness left. Whatever is there, it will try to do it within that much. So one has taken the most, and the others, whichever is the next strongest one, let's say touch. While I'm seeing, I'm touching. So there is an I in seeing and I in touching, which feels that there is a real I in seeing and in touching. And if there is little bit of consciousness, that means the bandwidth is there, smelling, then it is I in seeing and I in touching and I in smelling. And let's say there's a reduction of the I and then the taste tongue sense door has consciousness, then it will be I in seeing and I in touching and I in smelling and I in tasting. Okay. So now 4 eyes got created. Now this information is coming will get into the mind sense door, which takes some consciousness. So I am thinking, this taste, I think the last time when we had gone there, right? That's a taste I'm getting. So the tongue taste is experienced in the mind sense door, and it goes back to historical records, picks it up from the dead file and brings it back. And since it comes back to consciousness, there is this experience of when I had gone to, let's say, Starbucks. So when Ariu said, I'm sitting in Starbucks, that word Starbucks takes an information, goes in search of Starbucks, and I can instantaneously go to Seattle. Yep. So I had my first Starbucks experience in Kirkland, which is some 10 miles of Seattle. So it was a rainy day there in Kirkland. So the rain will come now, right? As I speak, the rain will come. And then the consciousness makes this magic happen. It transports the mind sense door into the old file, which is Kirkland. And then I go to the Starbucks with my ex colleagues because they're no longer working with me. So I go there and I have a taste of Starbucks coffee. What happens to the tongue sense door? It creates a virtual coffee flavor. So as Harry is drinking coffee, I am also drinking coffee from Kirkland. So that was the first time I had Starbucks coffee. So then the question comes, is the Starbucks what Ariu is having is the same Starbucks coffee I had in Kirkland? And there is a conceptual reality which comes in from the mind sense door, saying that they would have quality standards. So they will maintain the same flavor of coffee, whether it was brewed in Washington State, is Seattle, or in Gonzao or wherever he is today, or in Bangalore. So I and Ashwin had Starbucks coffee in Bangalore. I had a Starbucks coffee in Seattle and as well as Kirkland. Then Ariu is having a coffee there in China. Starbucks. Are they same? Are they different? This is where the Sankhara comes into help. You can intend it and it creates a taste for you. So the taste is created. So what sense door took over? Now the tongue sense door took over. Started creating taste. Even though I did not have a cup of coffee right now, I can get it. If I were to do it even more further, I can get the smell of the coffee also. Starbucks coffee. Because senses have an ability to create anything because of consciousness. So that the question comes, who is I? These are all the I's. So when I was saying to you that it's stilled, it means the senses are disconnected from sense objects. So the I also perishes along with that. So there is stillness. So how do I operate? I operate from seventh jhana. Okay, which is no self. And hence it is Cheto Vimukti. Like some day ago, Bobby had asked this question, where in the sutta it talks about Cheto Vimukti. So I told him, he was going to Shenil's place, told him, if you get the experience of seven jhana yourself, and you can see how the chitta drops off all the senses, you will then see that this is indeed Cheto Vimukti, because there is no experiencer and there is no experience. Till that time, we'll have to keep on searching. There's now 5 days of having this strange experience that the senses are there, sense objects are there, but there is no conscious experience. What does that mean? I'm doing exactly what I was doing earlier. But is it completed? No. There's still defilements. There's still avidya. So that's the thing. If I take Bahya Sutta, which I was taking or talking about, lessons from Bahya Sutta, if we take, you have to let go of the two ends and the middle. Because senses will pick up whatever is given. So, what is given and what is not given? In consciousness, when we say consciousness or mind, it has only feeling and perception, nothing else. So, the moment we leave the kama, loka, the consciousness now catches fire in the rupa loka, because it knows how to enter into jhana. What do you mean it knows? If you have read, understood Aganya Sutta, you can be 100% sure that you started from a Brahma realm. The journey into samsara started from a Brahma realm. That means for every person sitting here, for every animal, for every bird, for every insect, for everything, they started from there. That means they have samadhi. So if you see a bird building nest, it has samadhi. If you see an ant carrying some sugar, it has samadhi. So if somebody thinks only humans can have samadhi or only Buddhist can have samadhi, that person is an idiot. Now there are two kinds of samadhi, Michcha Samadhi and Samma Samadhi, that is fine. But if somebody were to say only Buddhist can enter into Samadhi and nobody else know what is Samadhi and nobody knows what is jhana, or you shouldn't enter into jhana, is a stupid argument because they have not understood what Buddha is trying to say. So to get the senses, meaning to get whatever you want at the sensual level, as in the object of the senses, you need to have samadhi. Even to go to a bus or to a truck or to a car or to drive a car, you require samadhi. Or even if you want to sit in the office and work, you require samadhi. If somebody wants to cook, has to have samadhi. There is no activity in this world where there is no samadhi. So, one thing you need to know, the six senses have to come together. What is samadhi? Is a way of making all the six senses work towards a common cause. If they all work against each other, it doesn't work. So when I say I am going to so and so place, if the eyes were to say I don't want to go, and ears were to say I don't want to go, the nose were to say I don't want to go, the tongue wants to say I want to go, and the body says I don't want to go, can the tongue go without the remaining five? It cannot. It requires a coordinated effort convincing the other five that I need this. So, whichever is the strongest will go there, will pull the remaining one. I don't think so. This is there in the sutta. For those people, they have to go to Sanyukta Nikaya. There is a simile of 6 animals. Read it thoroughly. Read it twice. Read it thrice. Read it 100 times till you get it. Okay. If somebody feels that, oh, this kind is not there in any sutta, so they should go to this sutta. It is 35.247 Chappana Kopama Sutta. Okay, they should go there and they should frequently read it, which talks about the domains of each one of these animals, comparing with the domains of each of these senses. So they need to navigate, they need to make them accept, they need to convince. And then only it works. If either one of them are angry, or even if either one of them are not happy with it, not work. Now, what does that mean? Well, I'm not happy with the site. I go to a hotel to eat and I'm so upset that I don't know what I ate. Why this happened? Because the tongue sense door did not collaborate with the eye sense door, and the body sense door did not collaborate with the tongue sense door. So what happens is that there is indigestion. Why there is indigestion? Because the stomach, which has the fire for digestive fire, could not meet up the standard required for burning that food. And since the person did not bite it thoroughly, he gulped it out of anger, he had a stomach upset. Now that made him more angry. So the body sense door is anger. And where does it show up? In the body. So his face becomes red. His eyes becomes red and he's shaking and he starts shouting. Who is shouting? The body sense door. The consciousness of the body is shouting. But what do we see? The person is shouting. That's I. Okay, I'm shouting. I'm upset. You ask what is upset, you will find eyes are upset, or ears are upset, or the nose is upset, or the tongue is upset, body is upset, or the mind itself is upset. That means the integrator is upset. He is not interested. He is not happy with the eyes or the sight, the ears and the sound, the nose and the smell, tongue and the taste, body and the touch. So they have different domains. They go behind that. So Buddha says the snake goes into the anthill. The crocodile tries to jump into the water, like that. So those people think it's not said by the Buddha. Can just go to this sutta, read again and again and again and again and again and again and again till that dumb headed thing gets it. Okay? If you don't get it, read again. Why is it important? Because if you want to know who is I, it is that which has complete control of consciousness. And that's the I. So if the I sense door has complete control over consciousness, it has taken the entire resources. So the remaining five of them have to submit to the I. If I go to a orchestra, music orchestra, the ear has gone to the orchestra, not I. So the EYE and nose and tongue and the body have to submit to the ear sense door and sit right in the seat. Now it's a horrible feeling of sitting on that seat. The pain is there. But the ear sense door will say, hang on, my dear friend, hang on. I'm enjoying the music. Shut up and tolerate the pain. So the body sense door have to accept the pain. But the eyes are seeing that musician playing something. It's not of no interest to the eyes, but because of the ear sense door, it has to accept. And nose is not at all interested because the person sitting next to me is farting and I can't tolerate the smell. But what to do? The ear sense door has taken the entire senses, entire consciousness. Okay. The tongue sense door is hungry, but what to do? The ear sense door is unrelentful. It doesn't want to miss the beat. It says, hang on, we'll go and eat later. It can wait. Shut up. So they submit. And what does the mind sense door do? it will go to sleep because it has nothing to do with it. So it allows these 5 people to fight. Whoever is strong wins, and he just goes. So it goes into wilderness in some dreams. As it listens, it starts creating orchestra and enjoys. So the feeling and perception is coming through the ears into the consciousness, and hence the mind sense door now enjoys that music, and other 4 of them also have to bear the brunt of it. Okay, this is what is I. So when I say I am in London, or I am in Brisbane, or I am in San Francisco, or whatever, who is there? Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. And when I and Aryu and Chirag and Vrinda went on a ride on Golden Gate Bridge, it's for the mind sense door to relish the Golden Gate Bridge because it's a concept of the mind. The mind said, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, get ready. We'll now go to the Golden Gate Bridge. So when we entered into the Golden Gate Bridge on day 1, the weather was wet, meaning we went inside the Golden Gate Bridge but couldn't enjoy the waters, which looks pretty if sunlight was there. So if the mind sense door has an expectation that it should be sunny, it will force the other 5 sense doors to submit to its command. We'll come back again. So then Ariu or Chirag are going to drive me back to San Francisco from Mountain View or from wherever it is. Driving for 40 minutes and standing in traffic, and then again going to Golden Gate Bridge. And this time, when the sun is shining, mind says, look at it, look at it. So the eyes will start to look at it. Ears will start to hear the sound. Nose will try to smell, but there's nothing to eat and nothing to touch. So what happens? The body sense door will say, hey guys, why don't you stop? I want to touch the Golden Gate Bridge. So what do? We park the car and we get down, and then we take some selfies and we touch that bridge as though you are feeling the bridge. But what you're touching is Pathavi Dhatu, earth element. But what are you getting is Golden Gate Bridge. So when I hold that pipe or whatever it is there, the Golden Gate Bridge, and then I start walking on the bridge. So they have made a path to walk. So let's say Ariu have parked the car and then we all walk to the bridge. What are we enjoying? The Golden Gate Bridge. So the mind sense door is enjoying. The eye sense door is enjoying. The nose sense door is enjoying. The body sense door is enjoying. Right? And only guy who is not enjoying is the tongue sense door. So it so happens there's an ice cream parlor there. Hey, how about an ice cream or boba tea? so that we can give everyone their share, right? So 6 friends: eyes, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. We would like to have all of that as an experience. Let's go. So now the ice cream is given, or let's say Starbucks. So nice coffee, oh, mocha, or this one or that one, whatever that is, some name thing. Wow, what a. So now what happens to that sense door of mind? It's replaced by Starbucks. So that very moment, Golden Gate Bridge is gone, replaced by Starbucks, because now the tongue sense door took consciousness away. And then that is the first prominent thing. Then the mind sense door will say, where is my share of it? Here it is, Starbucks. The tongue is enjoying the taste, but what will mind do? It will consolidate it, it will add it, evaluate. What a coffee, man. I'm telling you, I never had such a coffee in my life. And then what happens to the eye sense door? It says, eyes will say, hey, what's for me? What's for you means what? Scream and this one. Not my taste. Anyway, and you guys enjoy. And what about me? Ears. Nothing for you. So it, within that conscious experience, it will try to go and search some sound somewhere. And there is a flute sound which is coming somewhere. Hey, can you hear the flute? Which flute? The idiot, man, I'm telling you. See, we are having coffee, right? Can't you hear some sound? No, Vilas, I'm not finding any sound. And Vrinda will say, I am hearing. See, she is able to hear. So Aryu now gives his ear, stopping all consciousness in the ear. Ah, yes, 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 I could hear the flute now. Oh, shall we go there? Aryu says, no, I'm not keen on flute. Then I asked Chirag, what do you think, Chirag? Should we go for the flute? And Vrinda says, we should also go. So then, like a poor guy, Aryu has to abandon what he was doing, go back to the car, take the car, go in search of that flute. And we find one guy begging for dollars while playing flute. I'm broke, is what he has put there. And then what happens? Aryu is not pleased with that. But I, Vrinda, and Chirag are pleased with it because the flute sound is enticing. So, what happens to the Golden Gate Bridge? Gone. What happened to the Starbucks coffee? Gone. Replaced by food. This is the problem of senses, which creates I, and then the consciousness is captivated, or rather, it is kidnapped, so to say. Yes, Aryu, I think you wanted to ask me something.
Uh, Nothing in particular. I guess I'm just sitting in Starbucks. I'm trying to realize how every sense store is getting something out of it. Especially they make these Starbucks cups in, putting every city on top of it, which is for the mind.
Yeah, true. So that's the thing of this I. So what Buddha says, dhite dhite mattam, is minusing that I. And that's the experience I'm having for the last few days. If it sticks well, I wouldn't have anything to aspire for. It's amazing feeling. because there is no mind at all. Now, when I say mind, there are 6 minds, not one mind. 6 sense doors take 6 minds, consolidate as one mind, which we call it as a mind sense door for clarity. Because there are 6 consciousness, so there can't be one mind. The consolidating person, the one who is aggregating the mind with 5 senses. And each sense has its own mind. Who says so? Again, the same sutta. Like I said 100 times, maybe you should read 101 times. Because that is a great sutta. Unearth exactly what Buddha talks about the Indriya Samvara, guarding the sense door. So when we guard the sense door from the sensuality, it will automatically go into Rupa. So Rupa jhana becomes its food. You don't have to establish. It gets established because it knows. Then get into the next one, which is Arupa. This you have to practice. Why? Because Abhasara realm is within the Brahma realm. So it doesn't work because we all started from there. So the samadhi is going to be there for everyone. You're just removing the dirt, get into the jhana. Now, when you are in jhana, you don't enter into jhana, you are in jhana. But for words, because we have to make some sentences with some grammar and all of that, we say when entering into jhana, there is nothing called enter and exit. If you enter, there's an exit. You will be pulled into jhana because you have created necessary condition for the jhana. Just like we create necessary condition for sensual enjoyment, you have to create the same condition for. Now, what's the condition for that? Is breath. That's the only condition. If you're having the complete body awareness of breath, it takes you to jhana. Then it drops the rupa, gets into the arupa jhana. And when you enter into the 7th jhana, akinchayatana, you lose the sense of self. And at the very end of it, you get chitta vimukti, liberation by heart. Then there is 2 more steps. It is neva sanya na sanyayatana, followed by nirodha samapatti. And as far as operating things goes, you can operate it at 7th jhana. You can't do the operations with people or with world in 8 and 9. Whereas in 7, you can do it because you have learned how to be dhite dhite mattam, sute sute mattam, mute mute mattam, vinyate vinyate. That is, in seeing, there is no seer apart from the seen. In hearing, there is no person who is hearing apart from heard. In touching, there is no person either smelling or tasting or touching apart from touched, smelled, and tasted. And in cognizing any concept, there is no person who is cognizing other than what needs to be cognized. Like I go to San Francisco, there is no I landing in San Francisco. It's just in San Francisco. There is a conceptualization of San Francisco. To that extent only I know of it, not in real sense of San Francisco. That means today it can be named San Francisco. Tomorrow it can be named San Basisco. I don't care. There's no I feel anything there. So are you staying in San Francisco? And the answer is yes, to the extent of staying, to the extent of language, not to an extent of experience. There is no experience of San Francisco other than the name San Francisco, because it's a concept, just cognized. There's no reality there because there's no I enjoy or suffer that. So my 5 days have ended. Today is the sixth day. It's becoming stronger. Yesterday it was peeping out. Sixth day. In the morning, I called up Shaniel just to share that it has not stayed, it has dipped, but we'll see. The practice is there. Now I understand what Buddha means by sense restraint completely. Now it's working. So I know it. That's all I had relating to this amazing sutta. And tomorrow, when we meet, we'll put out the concluding remark of Buddha on Bahya. Any questions? Yes, sir. You.
Yeah, I have to drop soon, but I guess, I guess I understand a bit better about why we practice breath meditation and samatha, so we can cut off the light from the other five sense doors by not allowing it to feel imperception.
Correct. So we have to conclude tomorrow on Yatotvam Bahya na tatta Tatotam Bahya Nevida Nahuram na Ubhayamantare Esevanto Dukkhas. Or rather, if I were to start from the beginning, Tatotvam Bahya na tena Yatotvam Bahya na tena Tatotvam Bahya na tatta Yatotvam Bahya na tatta Tatotvam Bahya Nevida Nahuram na Ubhayamantare Esevanto Dukkhas. So this experience of what Bahya has is exactly what is there in the seventh jhana. You can stay there and operate in the world outside. And when the world is ended, meaning when you don't have to do anything with the world, you can cut it off into Nirodha Samapatti. That means there is no feeling perception. And that ends the dukkha. Esevanto dukkhas. So just to the extent, you just push the senses to the extent to which it should be done, not beyond that. Then the question comes, should I sit for 5 hours in meditation? Should I sit for 5 minutes for meditation? Or should I sit for 1 hour for meditation? makes a joke of it because you are in meditation all the time, all the time. Because right now, in worldly affair, you are meditating on worldly things. It's not that you are not in meditation, worldly things. You are. Now you are throwing it out because it makes no sense. Now you are going into the six, outside the six senses, which is running around the objects. You're going inside because that's where the jhanas exist. And once you do that, you come out of it into the Nibbana. So, what it means? First, you're choosing the conditions to make this happen, which happen the senses. Then you're moving that out and creating condition for the jhana to happen. And then you create a condition such a way that neither you take this nor you take that, and hence Nibbana takes over. That's it. Yes, Venugopal, you wanted to say something?
But Teji, initially you asked what is self. What I understood is the collection of aggregates to clinging them that is permanent. It is self, sir.
Yes, because five aggregates means what? Rupa has six feelings, which is six senses. Then perception has six. Sankharas also have six. The Vijnana also has six. So if you know how to understand the six senses, you have understood everything. And that is what I is. I am the doer means six senses. I am the enjoyer is a six senses. And I am the witness, also six senses. When you come out of all the three, you are in Nibbana. There's no you to be in Nibbana. So first, stop being the doer, karta bhav, no doing. Then stop being the bhokta bhav, enjoyer. And stop being drashta bhav, which is witness. So the witness consciousness is also a conditioned consciousness. When you throw out all of this, the senses will stop, close. And at the very closure of the senses, meaning closing means doesn't mean that you will become dead. It means there is no conscious experience of anything sensual, anything of jhanic, both being not there. Just awareness remains. That pure awareness. When nothing is created, nothing is destroyed, is Nibbana. So the mind is not going anywhere because there is no mind. And that's the end of the suffering.
And another question you asked, consciousness and mind are same like that. Actually, mind means in the five khandhas, sanya, vedana, and sankara, and vijnana. That is called mind, sir.
All the things from Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara is the mind, and the consciousness is that stream on which mind appears, which is also part of the mind. So from Chitta, it will go into Vijnana in 9 stages. So first it is Chitta, then it is become Mano, then it becomes Manasam, then it becomes Hadayam, then it becomes Mana, Ayatanam, Mana Indriyam, Vijnana, and Vijnana Khanda. These are the steps. And it goes from here to there. Now you're going back like this to the chitta level, which is the pure mind, which also goes away when there are no objects at all. So that switching off of that light, which is chitta, is nibbana. Because if that light appears, it will take objects. So the vijnana, when he is said, it is said in terms of conscious experience, which the chitta is providing it. Because it's part of the same thing. But it is already corrupted before it reaches. That is why it is called defiled chitta. Defiled means kleshas being there or dirt being there. So raga, dvesha, moha is there in the chitta. And hence Buddha says, saragam va chittam, saragam chittam pajanati, sadosam va chittam, sadosam chittam pajanati, samoham va chittam, samoham chittam pajanati. Because there is raga, dvesha, moha, and I'm able to see it. It's just a witness consciousness, just witnessing it. Ah, this is calm, not reacting. So the chitta will arise with raga, falls down. The chitta arise with dvesha, falls down, or the chitta arise with moha, falls down. And after some time, chitta doesn't arise with any one of these. So you get vita raga, vita dosa, vita moha, then sankitta chitta, vikitta chitta, like that. Each one of these chitta will arise and pass away as though they have life. Then it ends.
Sir, in the mid, you said some chitta. What is the source of chitta, sir? I think 32 point something
247,
you said, like
35.247.
35,
0.247 in Sayukta Nikaya Chappana Kopama Sutta.
okay. 35.247.
Sayukta Nikaya, SN.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sure. So, no questions. Should we end? That's all I had for today. Anusha, you have any comment to make?
Nothing. Maybe we have maybe just one more one question.
Yes.
Is so when the Arupa Jhanas Vilasji, what you're saying is when a person is spontaneously in an Arupa Jhana, that person can just do day-to-day stuff and be in that jhana, or is only experience on the cushion?
No, he can be in the 7th jhana and he can be operating without any issues. Because there is no I in him doing anything. So he is free of I. In the chitta appears I. So that I is not. It's just doing for the sake of doing.
So the witness is being taken out, just the awareness is there. In
Just the
seventh.
awareness remains. Yes.
And you can do normal daily activities with that just awareness.
Yes. Bare awareness.
Thank you.
Bobby, you have anything?
Jesse, thank you.
Okay.
No, listen.
Okay. All good then. So should we
Okay.
end? What do you want to do? Continue, end, or because except for Mrityunjay, I can't see anybody on video, so I don't even know what do you want me to do. Yeah, Venugopal, thanks for coming on video. At least I can see you what's happening with your eyes or whatever. Should we end?
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.